How you doing? It's Khoa here. In this video, I'm going to be comparing Jordan Belfort and Grant Cardone's sales training material. So let's go. I received a really great comment from someone who just recently watched one of my videos. He says that, appreciate the content, Khoa. I would also like your thoughts on people who actually do what they preach. I've been looking at this Gittimer guy and I researched him. Checked his LinkedIn. I don't see him being in actual sales in a company. All I can see is his company for the last 27 years. Now you compare Gittimer to someone like Jordan Belfort or Grant Cardone, Bradley, Ryan Stewman are people who actually were in sales and practiced it. Therefore, the knowledge is inexperience. I try to open to these guys, but seems like they are regurgitating something someone else is saying. At least with GC and the Wolf, you're getting that same content that you would get from Gittimer, plus more. I keep seeing these trainers popping up with no real sales background, and it really bothers me. How does one go about teaching something without doing it themselves? That's like a professor teaching you how to run a business who never ran one. Just would like your thoughts. Maybe a video idea for you? What a great question. I really love this question because this person who wrote it, he appears to be studying sales. He's trying to become great at sales, which is fantastic. However, there's a lot of gurus out there, right? There's a lot of gurus out there who are not walking the talk. They're just regurgitating information. So first and foremost, I would like to say that I completely agree with you. There is a lot of trainers out there who are doing sales training, but they never really have done any cold calling. They never really have closed any deals. They might have signed a few contracts here and there, but then they sort of stopped after about a year and then they've just gone off and done some training. So how do you get past this? So number one thing that I do is I always test try the person first. So these are just some of the recent books that I've got. So I've got Jeb Blount, Tom Hopkins, Jeffrey Gittimer, Zig Ziglar, I've got Frederick Eklund, Outbounding. I've got all these sales books, right? I've got so much more. Test them out by investing in a small portion of your income. So you might buy just one book, which might cost about $20. You might buy a little ebook, might be $5 or $10, whatever it is, right? But what you want to do is you want to invest small. So with Grant Cardone, what happened was when I discovered Grant Cardone, I was just on Facebook and he was advertising one of his ebooks, which was called The Millionaire Booklet. Now, this Millionaire Booklet, I bought this back in 2016. Had no idea who this Grant Cardone guy was. All I saw was a picture of his private jet and his nice car and his nice wife, and that's all I saw. And what really struck me about that advertisement was that no one else had a private jet. There was no other sales professional that was flying private jets. So why is it this guy flying private? That's what really got my attention. So, and I saw him pop up a lot of times, and he was promoting this book, the Millionaire Book. This is back in 2016, which was about 7 years ago. I think I paid about $11 for this, and I was reading through the book. And this book is actually gold. This is absolutely gold. And I thought to myself, wow, this guy is talking differently apart from all the other people that I'm reading. And this guy seems to be doing very well, and he knows what he's talking about. He's not talking fluff. You can just pick it up, right? So for example, he talks about step 1, the millionaire decision, and he goes on about where you get your advice. So chapter 2 talks about word of warning, for this to work, you need to start being very selective about where you get your advice. So since we're talking about this, you have to be very selective on who you're talking to. And the people that you're talking to, it could be all bogus information, and you could be wasting months of your life or years of your life following the wrong information. And so therefore you got to get the right information. So the content in this book was really good and really got my attention. Because I invested small, about it was only $11, right? I bought a whole bunch of other stuff. So there was the Grant Cardone rebuttal, Grant Cardone How to Make Millions on the Phone, Secrets to Closing the Sale. I bought this one, and this is fantastic. Look, and then I bought this one, How to Create Multiple Income Streams as well. The Greatest Sales Secret of All Time. This is all about follow-up. Sell or Be Sold. Also got the book as well. If you're not first, you're last. This is all about building a pipeline. Top Sales Secrets. This is the top 7 sales secrets. So this is going back to the fundamentals of sales. 10x Super Life. I bought the 10x Super Life, How to Construct Your Life and having everything. You want good health, you want wealth, you want a great family, you want to create a great career, all these type of things. It's all about creating 10x Super Life. How to become a millionaire now. How to make millions in business. This is fantastic. Obviously, one of my favorites is this one here, Grant Cardone's Playbook to Millions. So this one here is absolutely awesome. I paid about $1,000 for this one at the time, and it's got closing, it's got sales, it's got building a business, it's got 10x, it's got everything. Closer Survival Guide. This is all about the different techniques about closing, and then there's also 10x rule as well. So when I find someone who is the real deal, I go deep. I invest so much money into this person, and because it works. For example, when I first started out with Grant Cardone, so I bought his follow-up course. I didn't know anything about follow-up, and then I was working on this deal that was worth about $30K at the time. I was reading this book from Grant Cardone, talks about how you can follow up and reason why you should follow up, the importance of it. And then I started applying follow up to that $30K deal. And then people in the office, they could not close that deal, but I applied some of the concepts from that follow-up course into that deal. And eventually, in about a week's time, I remember going to that person's office, said, look, have you looked at the contract, blah, blah. And then the person said, fine, I'll sign it. Let's just go ahead. And then she signed it, and then I closed the deal. It was $30K. Obviously, when that worked, I realized, okay, Grant Cardone is a real deal. I'm going to keep investing more money into him, and it pays off. And over the years, I keep applying more of his stuff, and it just pays off. So that's the thing with Grant Cardone, is that he's the real deal. He's got the real stuff, okay? And he's got a lot of great material in his courses. In terms of... So there is a course that Grant Cardone has. It's called Grant Cardone Sales Training University. I don't have the actual package for it, but it's very similar to this one. It's all about all the sales techniques that Grant Cardone has. So he talks about objection handling, how to close, how to sell, presentations, build your pipeline, how to stay motivated, key habits of successful salespeople. It's massive. It's like a massive buffet, all about sales, and I really do highly recommend it. I paid it was Black Friday on 2017, I think, and I paid $1,000 for it, and I'm still learning it today. And this course is really solid. It's really strong. It covers a lot of content, and then I highly recommend anyone who's trying to master sales to go through Grant Cardone sales training material. It's fantastic, absolutely phenomenal. Okay, so that's enough for Grant Cardone. I also had the privilege to also interview him as well. He came down to Sydney. I reached out to his secretary, booked in a meeting, once again using sales material there, using sales and closing techniques there. And I was able to book an interview with Grant Cardone, interviewed him for 1 solid hour. And I highly recommend for you to check out that video where I'm interviewing Grant Cardone, and we spoke a lot about sales, money, finance, real estate investing, all that type of stuff. It's really good. So go check that one out. So now let's move on to Jordan Belfort. So Jordan Belfort has got a book, The Way of the Wolf. So this book by Jordan Belfort, The Way of the Wolf, this is a really good book that covers how Jordan Belfort sells. And essentially Jordan Belfort has got a course called The Straight Line Persuasion. So I'll get into this one a bit later on, and I'll cover this one. But in this book, it's more like a condensed version of The Straight Line Persuasion. So he talks a bit about tonality. He talks a bit about how you got to put the prospect on a straight line where you're guiding them through the sales process and you're knocking off these objections, right? It's a really fast-paced book on sales, and it shows you pretty much the essence of his course. But the course that he's got, which is the Jordan Belfort Straight Line SLP, which is Straight Line Persuasion, this is the course that's also really good too. This is going deep. So in his course, he talks about, obviously, there's building rapport. So you got to build rapport. There's also the 3 ways to manage fear. There's also you got to dress for success. I mean, I'm pretty sure you already know that. Handshakes, the 3 musts of closing process as well, money stuff as well, how to personalize your sales funnel. So it's all about how many dials you do, connects, appointments, interviews, sales, and financial goals. So that's quite a lot there. But probably the biggest thing that I got from the course is tonality. If you can actually sell through tonality. It's not about the script, it's all about your tone of voice. So for example, if you watch the video where in Wolf of Wall Street, when he's pitching Aerotyne shares, that is pretty much textbook from the Jordan Belfort straight line selling. It really is. and it talks about, hi, good morning. It's blah, 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 calling from blah, blah, blah. How are you today? Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, well, the reason why I'm calling, John, is that, something's came across my desk. Is perhaps the best thing that's ever come. You got 60 seconds. I'd like to share it with you. Yeah, sure, why not? And then he goes into his pitch, right? So that's pretty much everything in straight line selling. If I were to compare both Grant Cardone's stuff and Jordan Belfort's stuff, is that Grant Cardone's got a buffet of sales stuff, and it will take you a lot of time to go through it, but it actually is solid, and he's credible. He's got the experience. He's got the minerals to show it, and I highly recommend for you to check out Grant Cardone's stuff. Now with Jordan Belfort's Straight Line Persuasion, in terms of his credibility, yes, he is a salesperson. He knows how to sell. He was on Wall Street. He was pitching penny stocks. He was selling that stuff, and he made millions. And then obviously went into all the legal stuff, and therefore, But if you are a bit afraid of learning from Jordan Belfort because of that, right? I think that's a bit different, because that's a different topic there. Because he ripped a lot of people off, you don't want to go down that path of doing the same thing. You want to stay ethical, right? That's one of the things that Grant Cardone taught me, was that you want to stay ethical. And with Jordan Belfort, you want to apply his sales material, right? But you don't want to go down the ethics path of ripping people off. So that's my take on it. The differences between Jordan Belfort and Grant Cardone is that Jordan Belfort, there's a few, he covers like the key fundamentals. Like, it was only a few key fundamentals, like the tonality, it's your script, it's how you project yourself. Those key fundamentals, you can take those things and apply it, and you'll still get those results. But to me, it's not enough. I need to know more. I need to know how to build a pipeline. I need to know how to handle objections properly. I need to know how to stay motivated. And Jordan Belfort doesn't really cover that, but he covers the how you pitch, and that was pretty much what was a bit missing in Grant Cardone's stuff. He covers a bit about pitching, but not into that tone of voice level of Jordan Belfort. Okay, so that's comparing Jordan Belfort and Grant Cardone. Having a look at these different trainers. So let's say I've got Jeb Blount, you've got Tom Hopkins, you've got Jeffrey Gitomer, Sales Bible, I've got Zig Ziglar, Secrets to Closing Your Sale, I've got Frederick Eklund, The Sell, and then I've got a new book that I've just read by William Skip Miller, Outbounding. Looking at these other people, so how do I go about finding out who's the real deal and everything? So it is true, you can do some research, you can find out what they've done, check out the LinkedIn, whether they're in sales and so forth. But yeah, it goes back to my same philosophy. Invest a bit of money, invest some money into them, do a bit of research, put some money into them, $20, buy their book and read it. And then my thing is that if you feel that this person is full of it, right, stop reading the book, chuck it away, give it to someone else, whatever, and go to the next person and dump that person. If you feel that they're not the right mentor, then just get rid of them. You want to find the person who resonates with you the most, and therefore, if they do, you're going to learn better. You're going to become a better salesperson because you're learning their material, and ultimately you're going to get better. Okay, and it might not that same person that's good for you might not be good for someone else. So it really depends on you. So my thing is that invest small into these people, test them out, take them for a test drive, and if it doesn't work, drop them. But if it does work, if you do apply some of the knowledge from that book or from that little course, whatever it is, right, then invest more money into them because it's working for you. And the thing is, in sales, is that we're dealing with money here. We're dealing with money all the time. So if you're taking some of that money, investing into something, and you're applying that into your sales career and you're actually getting commissions from it, then you know it's working. So therefore, you want to just go deep. The thing I learned a lot from Grant Cardone, he told me that you want to pick one or two people and you want to go deep with that person. You don't want to get mentors from everyone and everything. So I'm very picky with who I read and who I follow. Yes, I'm going out there reading a lot of sales books and everything. I like to get as much information as possible, but when it comes to mastery, pick one or two people and that's it. So when it comes to mastery, I'm only picking Grant Cardone, and then on the side, have a look at Jordan Belfort stuff, but that's pretty much it. Probably the last message I want to leave you is that how do you sift through the noise? I mean, there's a lot of people who are preaching this and you're not sure and everything about who to follow and everything. I get that. My thing is that don't kill the messenger. If there is no such thing as a mentor who or a person who is enlightened, who is perfect. There is no perfect person out there. This person has been involved in crime. This person probably ripped people off. This person's done a lot of bad stuff in the past. And if you don't want to follow this person's sales material because they've done that stuff in the past, that's okay. That's up to you. But my philosophy is that, look, don't look at their lifestyle. Don't follow their lifestyle. Don't follow what they've done if they're doing drugs or whatever. Don't follow that. You want to follow their sales stuff only. Just follow their sales stuff. Listen to their sales stuff. But don't follow their other activities like their lifestyle and everything like that. You can disagree with everything else, but you can agree with just the sales stuff. And the way I look at it is that, let's say that you're looking at all these different salespeople, right? So I've got a lot of different salespeople here that I'm reading. My philosophy is that if I can just get one thing, just one thing from this book or one thing from this guy and apply it, then I'll get better by 1% or 10%, right? So that's what you want to look at, is that don't forget the messenger, forget the person, forget the person who's teaching you the sales stuff. If I can get one thing from this person, what could it be? Can I get one thing from this person? I don't like this person, but if you can just teach him just one thing, that will be enough for me. And that's always been my philosophy. If you improve yourself by 10% per week, you've improved yourself by 500% per year. So that's the way I look at it. I can get something from this guy. I hate this guy. I hate this book. But I can get something. I can get one thing from this book. Zig Ziglar. There's a lot of great stuff in this, but I can get one thing from this book and I'll get better in sales. Jeffrey Gitomer. There's a lot of great content in here, but I also learned there was a lot of great insights, and I got one thing out of this book. Tom Hopkins. This guy's a legend in sales. I was able to get one great thing from this book and I got better. Fanatical Prospecting. This book, oh my god, this one made a lot of money for me. But Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blount, there's a lot of great ideas, but the one idea I got from this was that you should always be prospecting. And since then, I've always been prospecting. I always block out a moment of time when I'm prospecting. I didn't really like this book too much, Outbounding. It was very technical. I don't feel that this person was the real deal, but I was able to get one thing out of it that can improve my sales ability. So there's a lot of trainers out there. Yes, there's a lot of sales gurus out there, and there's a lot of crap people out. I get that, but sort through the crap. Don't invest too much into them. Get one thing from them, and if it's really good, if it really resonates with him, go deep with the person and master them. Study them. Study all the material, get all the stuff, because it's working for you. You're making money. Invest more into them, and if you can, get mentorship as well. And so that's my take on it. Don't worry about the debate about who's better. Is Jordan Belfort better than Grant Cardone? And by the way, that interview that they did together, there's a lot of angry comments saying, Jordan Belfort's better. That was so crap with what Grant Cardone did. Let them argue about that. Let them argue about who was better and who was worse, or whatever it is. While they're arguing about that, you're getting better at sales. You're smashing these books. You're applying these techniques from all these people, and you're getting better at sales, okay? And there was also a comment on Brad Lee and Ryan Struman. So I actually interviewed Ryan Struman back in 2017, I think. Ryan Struman, he's a hustler. That guy is a hustler. He's full on sales monk mode, right? And I interviewed the guy. It was about 5 o'clock in the morning. It was one of my worst interviews, but that guy, he's a hustler, and he does know how to close, and he's really aggressive. But Ryan Struman, he seems to be a real deal. Brad Lee, I saw that there was a relationship between Grant Cardone and Brad Lee, and Grant Cardone hired Brad Lee to house his sales training material. So I saw that, and back when I purchased sales training, back when I purchased Grant Cardone Sales Training University, that was hosted on Brad Lee's platform. But then over the years, I think that stopped, and I noticed that Grant Cardone shifted his training onto another platform, which is his own, I think. So therefore, he saved a lot of money. And I don't know whether the relationship between Brad Lee and Grant Cardone is still solid. Another tip is that if you saw there was a video of Grant Cardone where he was on the phone and he was upselling this guy on the phone, and it was like he was handling objections. One of the people that he called was Brad Lee. Go check it out. He called Brad Lee, and then Brad Lee ordered a whole bunch of books and everything. It was a very interesting call. So you might want to check that one out. But so Brad Lee is also he's also got a course called Closers School. I actually haven't been through that course yet. But that course is selling for about $400 right now. So it's a lot more cheaper than Grant Cardone's stuff. And but yeah, I think it just covers the basic fundamentals. But I will go through that one day. And Ryan Struman, I'll go through his stuff eventually as well. But yeah, that's my take on comparing Grant Cardone and Jordan Belfort, and also how you deal with these different types of trainers and preachers, and just getting through the real sales guns of the world. So that's it of my review. Hope you like this video. Please like it, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.